Thanks for tuning in to Chats with Your Self-Worth BFF. This is your host, Michaela Falar, where we are here to skyrocket your self-worth, heal your shit, and take your power back. Welcome to the chat. Hey guys, welcome back to Chats with Your Self-Worth BFF. We are back to our regular scheduled programming. I am home in Costa Mesa, back from Kauai, feeling so refreshed, and also just got my nails done. So, that always makes you feel like, it girl energy, queen energy. I had such an incredible time. And if you are interested at all in hearing a little bit about my trip and some reflections that I had, go ahead and listen back to my last episode. It was full of them. And I had an incredible time sharing it with you guys. So today, getting into today's episode, I would like to chat about red flags. Red flags. And y'all know that your girl has been through the ringer when it comes to dating and relationships. And listen, I feel like I am the queen of ignoring red flags. Until this year. This year, I have stopped ignoring the red flags, and I'm actually learning from my lessons. It's been quite the journey, let me tell you. And part of that, before we get into that, I want to share with you guys that I have 2 mentorship spots open for the month of September. So if mentorship is something that you're interested in, if you're interested in healing your shit, getting to the root cause of your shit, figuring out who you are and why you are the way that you are, figuring out if there's any blocks that is getting you closer, that is stopping you from getting you closer to what you desire in this life. And remember, I will remind you of who the fuck you are. We will be reprogramming the neural pathways in your brain. You will get closer, oh my gosh, to your highest frequency version of you. It has been incredible. The mentorship students that I have right now that are in it are just thriving. And I'm so freaking proud of all of them. And I just can't wait to help and change even more lives. And you guys, when I was on the plane in Kauai and during Kauai, I had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to meditate and think about my business and my life. And I actually created a 4-week program that I will be sharing a little bit about in the future. Not today, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of something is coming. It's in the works. It's freaking incredible. It's going to be so freaking good. It's going to be freaking Christmas. I'm going to be Santa Claus. Okay. Anyways, I digress. Let's get into this episode of today. Red flags. Ladies and gents. Gents, this one's for you too. They go hand in hand. It's not just the man doing this. It's just I speak from, obviously a woman's perspective and what I've learned. And so but I'm sure that this works both ways. So if you are in the dating scene right now, Godspeed. No, I do. No, but seriously, it's been rough. It's been rough, but you just keep, positive mindset. I'm not one of those people who are stay positive all the time. No, I know that life can, hand you some curveballs here and there, but you always got to find the silver lining. And what I'm saying is that anybody that you do meet during this era of you dating, it was for a reason. You were either a part of their journey or they were a part of yours. You were supposed to learn something from them or they were supposed to learn something from you. So just keep that at the forefront of your mind as you go through this era of yours. All right. I'm going to share 3 red flags that I have that just came to me first. I'm not saying that these are the top, and they just start randomly either messaging you on, I'm going to say Instagram because I'm not doing the dating app thing, but it happens to me on Instagram. So I'll give you an example. When you are all of a sudden, you've got these guys that are hitting you up in your DMs and liking all your stories and liking your shit. And you're I'm sorry, but didn't you have a girlfriend at the beginning of this month? I'm sorry, what is happening right now? Okay, Yeah, you're broken up. Maybe, I don't know. But hopefully, you've broken up with your chick, and then all of a sudden you get a DM from them, and or they stopped following you, and then they're following you again, and it's like one of those accounts that like they disappear for a minute, and then they follow you back, and then they disappear, and then they follow you back. It was almost like they're afraid or something of their chick seeing you follow you, seeing them follow you, and so they like unfollow you to like make them happy. It's just so toxic in my opinion. I am all for like when you're in a relationship and you're dating somebody and they're like you like ask them not to follow somebody, amazing. Like that's respect. But then like just out of respect for yourself, like save yourself the embarrassment of like breaking up with that person maybe for like the second or third time and then like refollowing the people that you unfollowed for your ex. Like that just to me doesn't make any sense. So, but this red flag is people who do that and also people who hit you up like right after a relationship, like right after getting out of a relationship. I understand that sometimes, you meet people unexpectedly and like if that's the way the cookie crumbles for you, then okay. And make sure that that person is fully healed from their old relationship. Like, I don't give a shit if this person is a 12 out of 10, is just, like smiles great, laughs great, life of the party, great person. Like, I don't care. Like, do not jump into something with somebody who just got out of a relationship. Be fucking careful. And I am not saying that I've never done this. Like, I have literally maybe lasted like, I used to do this. I used to be in a relationship and then I'd break up with them or they would break up with me and then I would like go chasing for the next best thing or just the next distraction, honestly, like because I was so afraid of being alone that I was like constantly chasing that like high of like having somebody to text and having somebody to talk story with. And like the thing is, that was just me being uncomfortable with being alone. So that is a sign if somebody is hitting you up after like just right after they just got out of a relationship, that means that they have healing that they have not done yet that they need to do. And like the reason that I am like where I'm at, meaning like the reason that I have had such a struggle with like finding my person is because I didn't ever take the time to be alone and to get to know who I was and what I actually wanted. And I had things that I needed to learn. So the universe was like, okay, if you keep doing this and jumping from person to person, literally, we are going to give you the same lesson in each relationship. So you guys don't do what I did. And also don't date somebody like who did what I did. Do not date people who just got out of a relationship. Like give them time. I guess the timelines vary like depending on what the relationship was like and all that stuff, but just let them have that space of like getting to know themselves and being alone and healing from that old relationship. Okay. Number 2, not wanting to talk about an ex. Let's say like you do start to date somebody and they were in a really long relationship and they are like avoiding speaking to you about this relationship. In my opinion, if they just like deflect and like change the subject, it's a sign that they haven't actually digested what happened themselves. And therefore, they are not healed from that relationship because they haven't actually done the healing work that it takes to like move past those emotions. Like if you're talking to somebody that was in a 5-year relationship and they're like, oh, like it's whatever, it's fine. Like I'm fine. It was fine. Like, no, like no. Like, being in a relationship for 5 years and then it not working out, like even if it was a mutual agreement of you guys not working out, is hard. It is not something that you feel, quote, fine about, like you need everyone to just take the time to digest the way that they feel and the way that they processed it so that they can learn about themselves, learn and figure out what they liked and what they didn't like about the relationship. That way they don't take that into their next relationship, talk about like why it ended. Just be open about it. Like that's nothing that anybody should be insecure about. In my opinion, I think it's really healthy to speak about your ex relationships to an extent, like obviously not like getting into super big detail, but just like being able to say. Another thing is if you are talking to them about their ex and they are just saying like, oh, she's fucking psycho, like she's blocked on everything. Like, do your research. Do your research because, like, I don't know. I just be careful. Like, literally 4 to 6 months. That's how long it takes for you to actually like get to know somebody when you're dating. Like 4 to 6 months. In my opinion, like I will not move anything like further than the dating space until we've been dating for at least 4 to 6 months. Like I've learned that that's not how I always was. I learned that the hard way. But now that I have been through. Okay, red flag number 3. Can we just talk about how fucked up it is to be love bombed and then to like go into regular dating again? Like seriously, you go from being like this person that you find, they're just like obsessed with you. You're talking on the phone for 3 hours a night because they like just can't fall asleep because they're just thinking about you. And like that messes up your guys' sleep schedules and it puts you guys both like in a not good, gets you out of both of your routines, which is not healthy. It's a breaching of boundaries and a lack of self-respect for you and your boundaries and your routine. It's like the same thing of like, when a girl gets into a relationship or a guy gets into a relationship and they stop working out or they stop doing the things that they were doing before when they were single, like that's the same thing. Like don't let that happen. But when you all of a sudden like this happened to me. This is why I'm so passionate about this, is because I was love bombed and I had never been love bombed before. So I was totally blindsided. Like I didn't even know what love bombing is. So if I can just help one person, guy or girl, realize that love bombing is a fucking thing, and you might even be the love bomber and not even know it, not even realize it, but it is something to be aware about and to be like self-aware about too, if that's you. So what love bombing is basically when you are like, I'll say the person being love bombed. It's like all of a sudden I was getting all of this attention and love, and they were talking about, us getting married and having kids. And mind you, we literally had been dating for like 3 weeks. That might have even been pushing it. And this man was like, I have never felt like this before with anybody else. Like, I want to marry you. You are this, like literally putting me up on a pedestal and calling me all the time, taking me out to dates. Like the dates were absolutely incredible. Like the first date that the second date that he took me on was he picked me up, brought me a flower, like opened my door, super chivalrous, like so, like everything was over the top, drove all the way out to Malibu. It was a surprise. He literally just said, I'm going to pick me up, or I'm going to pick you up at 4:30, like be ready, dress nice. It's a nice place. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my heart, right? Like, meh. Like, and you ladies, like this is bare minimum. Like a man should be planning the date, should be picking you up, should be opening your door, should be giving you flowers. Like these are not a big deal. This is not a fucking big deal. So this is standard. Okay. Standard. Do not settle for what should be standard. Like there needs to be so much more, but that's a whole other episode. So continuing on, we get to this fancy dinner and it was like a $300-$400 dinner. And, at the end, we like got the bottle of wine and we took it down to the beach and we watched the sunset and it was super romantic. And I was like, literally like in awe, like, oh my God, I'm going to marry this man. Like, man, I was so, I look back on it and I laugh. It's just laughable now. And I'm sure that like, because I was like flaunting it all over social media, like after the fourth date, because I was just so in love with this guy. Because you are literally fed a bunch of BS lies, and it's like they like dangle this like fruit in front of you and they tell you all these things, and you guys, actions are everything. Like actions speak louder than words. And so it's like, oh, you like to go from that. And it was like a constant thing for like the first until I got into a relationship with him, until things got actually serious, and then everything stopped. And it went from being put on this pedestal and feeling like I was a fucking queen and that this man literally worshipped the ground that I walked on, to I can't do anything right. I'm annoying. I'm in his way. Like, I don't know. He was like talking about our relationship with other people. Like it was just so toxic. And I would try and communicate with him, and like it just wasn't good, you guys. Like, so being love bombed and going from that to all of a sudden, like getting back into the dating scene and I meeting somebody who's like, doesn't text you 24/7, doesn't get mad at you if you don't text back right away, doesn't ask you to hang out every fucking night, doesn't talk about your, future kids and getting married, and doesn't talk about, like how obsessed with you that they are. Like literally it's just, it's night and day. And you're like, why? At first, you're like, why isn't this person like obsessed with me? Why aren't they texting me all the time? Why don't they want to hang out all the time? Why aren't they buying me flowers all the time? Why aren't they taking? More of the story here. Be careful of love bombing. Take your time to figure out who this person is, and just take your time. Don't just protect your heart. Live your life with an open heart and protect your heart. I know that it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done, but you got this. I hope that these 3 red flags helped you today and you learned something from this episode. Stop ignoring the red flags. I don't care if this guy is or this girl is the best thing since sliced bread. Like, do your research, take your time, breathe, stop fantasizing, neutralize it. You guys, that is like a last tip, and then we're going to wrap it up. Tip I have for you: if you are dating somebody and you've found somebody, you've just started dating, it's new, it's fresh, you're excited about it, neutralize the situation. Get out a piece of paper and a pen, write a T-chart down, and on one side put plus sign, the other side put a negative sign. On the positive sign, put all the great things that you like about this person. And then on the negative sign, put all the things that you either don't love about the person. Maybe they have a bad hairline. Maybe they have bad style. Maybe their BO isn't the best at all times. I don't know. I'm just trying to like think of things. Maybe they don't really know how to communicate well. Maybe they have, you know what I'm saying? Like, just think of literally anything and everything that you can, kind of like a ick side. So like a positive side and then like an ick side, so that you neutralize the situation and you aren't as like focused on all the great things that they have, all the great qualities that they have. And you also like are reminded of the things that might be, the reasons why you start to not like that person so much in the future. That way also you're aware of what you don't like about this person in the future, so it doesn't come to you as a surprise or a shock, because we are literally blinded in the first like few months of the relationship or dating scene, whatever, and we ignore all the red flags. And the beautiful thing about red flags is that they just become the things that make you leave later on. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, please make sure you leave a rating and review. Like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Kayla Cakes, at KAELA_CAKES. Visit my website at MichaelaRyanFalar.com to find out more about my coaching services. All of these links are in the show notes below. Make sure you tune in for next week's episode. New episodes are out every Tuesday and Friday. Chat soon.